welcome to American Bacon Germany. I'm Michelle, and today we're making these adorable 2D Skye and Everest toppers. I've discovered that I'm not that great at modeling 3D figures, so I want to show you how I make these 2D figures, which are much easier. These are for two different upcoming cakes. Let's get started. First off, we need a couple templates. Here are mine. I'll leave them linked below. I start off by cutting out a couple of circles of white fondant to act as backgrounds. For figures like these, you absolutely need a sturdy background to keep all the pieces together. Then I rolled out some more white fondant. I traced Skye's muzzle, cut it out, and set it aside. Then I traced the figure of Everest. I'm just pressing through the paper to leave an impression on the fondant with a pointed sculpting tool. Then I cut out the form of Everest. I pressed the lines a bit deeper into it using the template. Then I took off the template and traced the lines with a pointed tool without it. Now that we have all the lines on it, I cut out all the pieces from Everest that aren't white and remove them. Then I rolled out some purple fondant. I traced the form of Everest here again, just like I did on the white. I deepened the lines just like before and cut out the parts of Everest that are purple this time. I'm oversimplifying the image. Also, instead of turquoise and yellow, I'm making the hat purple, as well as the eyes, half of the face, and the dog tag. Then I rolled out some pink fondant and cut out the inside of Everest's ears. And I placed a small ball of black onto the nose. I also rolled out some thin black fondant and cut out some small circles for the pupils, but I decided to place the whole design onto the background before placing them. I place the pupils in the eyes and a tiny dot of white for catch lights. Now I'm setting Everest aside while I work on Skye. I rolled out some pink and traced around the goggles and the eyes. Skye has pink eyes. I am not making this up. But I'm not quite ready for pink actually. I have two subtly different shades of light brown, one lighter and one darker. I rolled out the lighter one and cut out Skye's face. Now Skye has darker brown around her eyes, however, having already removed the snout, if I cut out the eyes, I wouldn't have enough fondant to allow it to hold its shape. So I decided to paint that part at the end. I placed the face, snout, and goggles onto the background. Then I cut out the whites of her eyes. I paused a moment to scratch the details into Skye's face. Then I place the whites of her eyes. I rolled the pink thinner and cut out the pink parts of her eyes again. Then I placed a black ball for her nose and rolled some black fondant really thin. Cut out some pupils and placed them on the eyes, as well as tiny catch lights. But Skye isn't Skye without those fluffy ears. I rolled out some darker brown and traced the forms of the ears and glued them in place. I also rolled a couple of small teardrop shapes and placed them on the forehead where Skye's fur sticks up a bit. Then I got some brown and black food coloring. I began by mixing both with alcohol to paint on shading. Light brown on Skye and pale gray on Everest. By the way, make sure you use different brush each time. Then I painted some undiluted black food coloring on for Everest's eyebrows and eyelashes, as well as Skye's. How perfect are these toppers? They look just like Skye and Everest and are perfect for a girly Paw Patrol cake. For more cakes and tutorials, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe for more tutorials.